Hey, what's up guys? Soldier knows best there. So, your choice, the iPhone 11 or the 11 Pro. Which one should you buy? Hopefully by the end of this video, you would have a better idea about which one would better fit you. So let's go and jump right into it and take a look at these phones, starting with the design. Now, quick shout out to hotspot3d.com for sending over these models of these new iPhones, and they have a bunch of other different 3D models of phones on their website. So check that out, link below. But yeah, you can see that the design language between all three of these phones are incredibly similar. And so even though from a material perspective, they are different because the iPhone 11 is made out of just glass and aluminum. And then on the 11 Pros, you have a textured matte glass and also a stainless steel design. They look incredibly identical to each other besides the extra camera that's on the back on the 11 Pros. So if you are one of those people who like to let people know that you have the new version of the iPhone just by the way it looks, you're not really going to have that much of a difference if you're walking out in public. I don't think people will be able to immediately know that you have a Pro or just the regular iPhone 11 model, unless they just really know the different color options, because on the 11 Pros you have more kind of muted matte colors, and then on the iPhone 11 the colors really pop or are just brighter and they stand out more. All right, so now let's talk about the displays, and to be real quick and honest with this, the displays on the 11 Pros are going to be better than the one on the iPhone 11. So on the 11 Pros you have their new Super Retina XDR displays coming in at 5.8 inches for the 11 Pro and 6.5 inches for the Pro Max. And then on the iPhone 11 you have a 6.1 inch liquid Retina HD display. So the colors and the brightness will be better on the 11 Pros, and also they are HDR displays. So if you do watch a lot of movies or YouTube content or anything really back in HDR, especially with the cameras being able to take HDR, it will look better on these iPhone 11 Pros. But to be honest with you, unless you're doing like a side-by-side comparison, I think most people will be just fine with the screen on the iPhone 11. And so just like we had with the iPhone XR when that came out last year, people were kind of concerned about the specs of the screen, especially how they looked on paper, but I didn't really hear that many people complaining once they actually got the phone in their hands. And another good thing about going with the iPhone 11, it will be a slightly bigger screen than the iPhone 11 Pro, since it comes in at 6.1 inches compared to 5.8 inches. So if size is a concern for you, that may be interesting for you. Okay, so moving on, let's switch over to the cameras. So all three of these phones will feature the new 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. You can really get a lot in your photo or your video without having to step back and move around yourself. And then all three of them will feature the 12 megapixel wide angle camera. This is kind of like the standard default camera. Now, as I mentioned before, the difference is that the 11 Pro models will have an extra telephoto camera, which will allow you to kind of punch in and zoom in without losing a lot of quality. And that is going to be missing on the iPhone 11. And personally, that sucks because I really like to use the telephoto camera. But if you're really not a big fan of that, you're going to see the same type of picture and video quality across all three of these phones right out of the gate. And this will also be the case when Apple releases their new feature called Deep Fusion, and this is going to come in a software update after these phones launch. And this is going to use machine learning and the A13 chip to take a series of, I think, about 9 photos and combine them together and just really make a really awesome photo. This is coming to all three of those phones, so you don't have to worry about that difference. And then the last thing with the cameras is that the front-facing cameras are all the same. So now they all three have the new 12 megapixel true depth camera system on the front, so you'll be able to get wider selfies. So either in portrait or landscape mode, you'll be able to kind of zoom out and get more people in your shot. And of course, all three of these phones can also do the slow-fies, which are the slow motion selfies. But yeah, I don't know how many people are going to do it, but you can still do it. Okay, so next up is performance, and I would say that all three of these phones should perform the same for everyday use, because all three of them will have the A13 chip inside of them, which is going to be the brains of the operation. And then there is we don't really know as far as like the RAM and stuff, so there is rumors that all three of these could feature the same 4 gigabytes of RAM, or the iPhone 11 could come with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the 11 Pros could come with 6 gigabytes of RAM, but we just don't know that for sure. But I think for just day-to-day use, for normal people who are just using these phones, not trying to shoot a Hollywood movie or anything, I don't think you're going to see any type of performance difference. But you may see that the iPhone 11 Pros may be geared towards some of the advanced features like you find with the Filmic Pro app. And I don't know for sure whether these are exclusive to just the iPhone 11 Pros. I don't think they were very clear on that, but you will have, at least on the iPhone 11 Pros, the ability to do like multi-angle video recording at 4K. Then also within the app, you have a lot of advanced features. So that may come to the iPhone 11 too. Maybe somebody knows, and leave a comment down below and let me know and correct me on that. But besides those type of issues, I think all of these phones will perform the same. Now, when it comes to battery life, you want to go with the 11 Pros if you want the most. And all three of these phones should be able to get you through your entire day with no issues. But the 11 Pro will have 4 more hours of battery life compared to the iPhone XS, and the 11 Pro Max will have 5 more hours of battery life compared to the iPhone XS Max, which is really impressive. And then the iPhone 11 will have about an hour more of battery life compared to the iPhone XR. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about durability, because Apple claims that all these phones will have the toughest glass on any smartphone, and this is for the glass on the front and also on the back. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people will start drop testing these phones to see, but yeah, you can take that with a grain of salt. But also too, as far as water resistance and dust resistance, all of these phones are going to be rated IP68. But if you are going to be getting these phones a little wet, the iPhone 11 Pros can survive up to 30 minutes in, I think, 4 meters of water, and then the iPhone 11 can survive up to 30 minutes in 2 meters of water. And then now we have made it to I think the number one deciding factor for people, and that's going to be the price. So the iPhone 11 starts at $699, and then the iPhone 11 Pro starts at $999, and then the iPhone 11 Pro Max starts at $1099. So there's a significant price difference between the iPhone 11 and then the iPhone 11 Pro. Now, there are a couple of things here to take into consideration. If you are trading in one of your older iPhones, you will be able to get some money back, so up to a few $100s back on either one of these phones. And then you also have the option now to buy these phones and just do monthly installments depending on your carrier. So you can pay like $10 or $20 a month and then just pay off the phone over time. So you can get it on day one and not really have to spend all the money all at once. So that is also an option to you. But ultimately, it's really just going to come down to how your bank account is set up. So how much money you want to spend either now or later, that's up to you. Now, when it comes to storage options, because as you want more storage, you do have to pay more money. All three of these phones do start at a measly 64 gigabytes of storage, but the iPhone 11 Pros do max out at 512 gigabytes, and the iPhone 11 only maxes out at 256 gigabytes. So if you look for the most storage, you want to go with the Pros. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. All of these phones will run iOS 13, and really, as you can probably tell from this video, I mean, I think most people will be just fine with the iPhone 11, and unless you just need that bigger, better display, or you just really want that telephoto camera, I mean, there's no need to really spend that extra money unless you're just like me, who likes a big display and likes all the cameras. But the iPhone 11, I think, will be the best bang for your buck when it comes to price and performance. But hey, that's just me. What about you? Leave your comment down below and let me know which one of these phones you like the most, or if you don't like any of them, just let me know that as well. And also hit that subscribe button and that notification bell next to it. And like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.